This might seriously be the smoothest fragrance Lattafa makes. Hey, what's good guys? Hunter here and welcome back to Fragrance Hunter. Today we are reviewing Lattafa's Eternal Oud, and man, I'm a huge fan of Lattafa. I don't know about you guys, but they barely ever miss. And I have owned Eternal Oud for quite some time now and was like, wow, why have I never reviewed this yet? So here is the review today guys, and I'm excited because this one is, like I said, the smoothest fragrance Lattafa makes that I've tried. It's just so buttery smooth, guys. And if you didn't know, this is going to be in the same realm as something like Maison Francis Kurkdjian's Grand Soir, which is one of the best ambers in the world. So smooth in and of itself, but this does have its own twist, so it's not going to be a clone by any means, but it definitely wears like Grand Soir, no doubt about it. And also this name is kind of deceiving, but we'll get into that a little bit later on in the review. Let's run down some information. Now, Eternal Oud was launched in 2022, so it has been around for a few years at the time of this recording, and I think they're coming out with another fragrance called Eternal Vanille very soon as well. Honestly, I'm not sure what it's going to smell like, what it's going to be inspired by or whatnot, but you already know I'm going to be copping a bottle of that. For the retail price on the only size this comes in, which is the 100 ml, is going to run you around 30 bucks, which is just downright crazy. And you already know I'll leave a tag on this video, the best price you will pick this up for. Concentration is going to be an eau de parfum, even though this stuff in here looks like it isn't extrait, it looks so potent. And for the perfumer, that is unknown, which is most of the time the case with these Middle Eastern brands like Lattafa. So with all the information out of the way, those are the packaging and presentation you get with Eternal Oud now. All right, take a look at this box, and I cannot believe you can get this presentation for 30 bucks. That is downright insane. Of course, you got that tree cap logo on the top. Eternal Oud is some Arabic, Lattafa Pride, eau de parfum 100 ml. On the bottom, you got your batch code right here to authenticate your product to see when it was produced. It looks like mine was produced in December of 2023. And then all your information on the back as far as a barcode made in the UAE, and then Lattafa logo up top of the sleeve. So let's take the sleeve off. So once you have the sleeve off, it does come in this box, which almost feels like a leather box. It's very high quality, and you open it up like so, where your bottle is housed in this kind of styrofoam cutout right there. But all in all, beautiful box presentation. Let's look at the bottle now. Now take a look at this bottle, which is one of my favorite looking Lattafa bottles, hands down. I love the aesthetic of this one with that kind of tree cap, very rustic, almost kind of gothic style to it. Of course, you got the same logo on that right there. You have Eternal Oud and Gold Lattafa Pride. On the bottom, you got your sticker, nothing on the back. The cap is pretty heavy, nothing inside of the cap, nothing on the atomizer, but it does click into place securely. And you got that beautiful kind of potent looking juice inside. In the top, you got that plum, grapefruit. In the mid, you got heliotrope and orchid. And then in the base, you got that benzoin, amber, vanilla, labdanum, tonka bean, and oud. And this can be classified as a sweet oriental. So let's spray this and test out these atomizers. Decent atomizer. Unfortunately, it's not pressurized, but it's not the biggest deal. So let's go ahead and remind myself of Eternal Oud. And I already smell this beauty in the air, but can you guys smell it? Yeah, tell me about that. Now, Eternal Oud, I've always said it's kind of this fruity plum take on Grand Soir, and that's exactly what this is, because in the opening, you're gonna get blasted with this dark, purple fruity plum that's so delicious, guys, so smooth. And I don't know about you, but I love plum in fragrances just because it's somewhat unique. It's not like your traditional other fruity notes at all, and I just love a dark fruity aspect about it. And you're definitely going to get a heavy dose of plum right away when you apply it. I'm not really getting any of that grapefruit listed in the opening. However, it is a little bit of a letdown, but I think the plum does stand out the most and is by far one of the best parts about this DNA, and maybe the grapefruit might have ruined it. Now, as we start making our way into the mid of Eternal Oud, it does become very elegant, guys. You are going to get this heliotrope, which is of course a floral. Now, the heliotrope in here comes across very smooth in and of itself, almost like a vanilla, guys. Which sometimes heliotrope can come across vanilla-ish, and it definitely does in the mid of here, but it does give off this slight floral, elegant, sophisticated take on it as well. And while the heliotrope is coming through, the plum is still there. The plum pretty much lasts the entire length of the DNA. The plum isn't going anywhere in this scent profile, guys, by any means. So pretty much so far you're getting plum and this kind of floral vanilla-ish heliotrope in the mid, which just kind of amplifies and brings an elegant touch. I also think you did get some florals in Grand Soir. I think it was lavender rather than heliotrope, but like I said, this is in the same realm, but kind of a twist on that DNA. And personally, probably one of the best twists on Grand Soir I've ever tried. And it's over $200 cheaper than Grand Soir as well, which is mind-blowing. Now, once you make your way into the base of Eternal Oud, is the star of the show, guys. It's the best part about the entire fragrance, hands down, because it turns very smooth, resinous, and warm from benzoin primarily. One of the heaviest doses of benzoin I've ever tried, and of course in Grand Soir you also get that benzoin in there, so that's where the similarities are coming through, with of course that golden, warm, comforting amber, which is also another resin, so they kind of go hand to hand. Also this spicy, cozy vanilla. So benzoin, amber, and vanilla makes for one of the best dry downs in the entire world, guys. You also do get some of that labdanum thrown in the back, which labdanum comes across a very leathery to my nose, so you do get this slight leathery undertone thrown into the DNA when it dries down. Just an ultra smooth, buttery dry down with Eternal Oud. And this is where the kind of deceiving part about this name comes in, guys, because it's called Eternal Oud. However, you're not going to get any oud, to my nose at least, in the dry down where oud is listed. I'm not getting any of the woody oud, no barnyardy funky oud or anything like that. I mean, truthfully, the oud could possibly be there if you're kind of trying to detect it, looking for it, etc. But the benzoin, amber, vanilla, and labdanum just takes center stage and puts the oud in the background. I mean, this could have easily been called something like Eternal Plum, Eternal Resins, or even Eternal Vanille, which are coming out with a fragrance sometime soon called that. So I'm not really the biggest fan when brands call their fragrances oud and there's literally no oud, or it's not oud prominent, etc, etc. And for some reason, a lot of these Middle Eastern brands do that. But all in all, if you love Grand Soir, you don't want to spend over 200 bucks on a bottle of that, and you maybe want to twist on it, you have to check this one out, because I don't see anybody really being disappointed in it. For the best seasons to rock Eternal Oud, if you guys get a bottle, it's primarily the colder weather, fall and winter dominant, guys. This is not going to work in the high heat like spring and summer like at all. Not even probably like spring evenings, unless it is more of a chilly spring evening and you're going out, etc., then possibly. But for me, primarily fall and winter targeted. And if I had to pick one season, absolutely the fall time. That gives me fall vibes, and no doubt, guys. Like walking around, got the leaves on the ground, going to a coffee shop, wearing a nice hoodie, trench coat, pea coat, some jeans, some Chelsea boots, etc. That's the best time and the vibe Eternal Oud gives me. And for occasion, this is going to be a more formal fragrance to me, guys. Like I said, the florals in here, the smoothness about it does give this elegant kind of formal take on it as well. So something you want to wear when you're dressing up, making a first impression, going on a date in the evening time, which, by the way, this is going to be a very, very seductive date night fragrance just because it smells so good. I mean, I always looked at Grand Soir as a perfect date night fragrance. With this twist on here, add in the fruitiness, the more playful slightly, yeah, this is going to be excellent for that. It's not really a fragrance you want to wear every day as like a signature scent, not really going to the office or anything like that as well, guys. Just primarily more of a formal, special event kind of fragrance. For gender, this is going to be unisex, guys. Both a man and a woman are able to rock Eternal Oud without even questioning it. Same thing with Grand Soir, which is also targeted as unisex. This one's no different. I mean, this stuff smells excellent on me, and it would smell excellent on a lady as well. And believe me, I'm picky when it comes to perfumes on women. I don't like my girls smelling masculine, so if I'm telling you this is unisex, it's definitely unisex. And when it comes to age groups, I will categorize this as more on the mature side of things. It's not going to be this very playful, youthful, juvenile style fragrance at all. I mean, when you smell this, it's not something like, okay, yeah, that smells like a teenager fragrance. No, not that by any means, guys. Like I said, the elegant, sophisticated nature about it does make it a little bit more mature at the end of the day. So I would categorize probably at the end of the day, anybody 30 and up wearing this one the absolute best, unless of course you're into fragrances, you like artistic things, unique kind of niche style stuff as well, then you can check it out. Now, wrapping the review up, talking on the performance you should expect to get from Eternal Oud. So this is an EDP, and man, this stuff performs very, very good. I don't know if it's because I let my bottle sit for like a year, possibly 2 years now at this point, and this stuff became so dense, but I did get upwards of 10 hours of longevity on skin. If you apply your clothes, you're gonna get, of course, longer. But I mean, 10 hours on skin from an EDP is very, very respectable. And like I said, my batch is from 2023. I don't know how the new like 2025 batches are, etc., etc. But for me, guys, above average longevity with it. But honestly, I kind of expected that, especially being a warm resinous fragrance. Yeah, you kind of expect something like this to last a long time. When it comes to the projection, I did get about moderate projection. This is not going to scream off your skin. It's not going to be a room filling beast mode fragrance by any means. And it's also this kind of soft, warm resinous fragrance, which don't usually project that strong. Heck, it could even be slightly on the soft projecting side unless you just spray like me, which I highly recommend you do. Do not underspray like 1 to 3 sprays, guys. No. Most of the time, my minimum, unless I'm doing absolutely nothing on that day, is at least 8 sprays. And with that, you're going to get about moderate projection, which means when you're walking around, people are going to smell this, be indulged in the scent trail you leave behind you, because like I said, the scent trail with this is just so buttery smooth and will make people almost track you down and ask you what you're wearing. So at the end of the day, when it comes down to it, 10 hours of longevity and about moderate projection that you're going to expect to get with Eternal Oud, which in my personal opinion is very, very good, especially if you're only paying 30 bucks. It might even outperform Grand Soir, but I would obviously have to test those side by side to really know. So that's going to be a wrap for my review on Eternal Oud. Let me know down below if you guys have tried this one, if you're thinking about trying it, and if you have, what are your thoughts on it? And how do you think this compares to something like Grand Soir? I'm very curious about your guys' opinion. But besides that, leave a like on the video, subscribe below if you haven't already, because bro, what are you doing? I got you guys with basically the daily fragrance content, and I'll see all of you back here tomorrow. Take care, everybody.